There is a very specific kind of gravity inside a high-end design studio. It's a carefully crafted vacuum where ideas are nurtured in isolation, allowing every early concept to look cinematic and flawless before it ever meets the friction of the real world. The psychological trap in these rooms is the reveal slide. This is the moment an idea is judged strictly within a perfectly controlled, context-free environment. The lighting flatters the design, the team is aligned, and the concept looks entirely risk-free. Many elements of a brand identity can survive this kind of evaluation. You can tweak a typeface, adjust a color palette, or repaint a showroom floor without making the evening news. But a brand name is a permanent, load-bearing structure. It is the exact word the market types into a search bar. When you evaluate a load-bearing corporate identity solely inside the safety of a sealed studio, you guarantee a massive blind spot to its actual real-world consequences. In March 2021, Volkswagen of America had a highly specific objective. They needed to generate excitement and drive media attention for the launch of their all-electric SUV, the ID.4, in the United States. The pitch to solve this was a single one-letter pun. They proposed rebranding the American arm of the company from Volkswagen to Voltswagen, a wordplay meant to signal their shift from internal combustion engines to the electric era. The studio built out a complete visual identity system to sell the idea. Electric models would get a lighter blue badge and wear the new Volkswagen text, while petrol vehicles would keep the traditional dark blue and use the icon-only mark. The catch is that this extensive identity system was not pitched to the public as a gag. Internally, the entire press release was designed as an April Fool's Day stunt. On a presentation board, a clever one-letter swap looks like a harmless marketing win. But that clean, polished execution completely disguises the heavy operational weight of the word they were playing with. The first failure point was administrative. On March 29th, days ahead of schedule, the April Fool's press release accidentally went live on Volkswagen's media newsroom site. An April-dated press release surfacing in late March reads to any competent news organization as exactly what it is, the setup for a scheduled prank. That timing error should have ended the campaign right there, but instead of killing the bit and admitting the joke, internal sources doubled down. They decided to preserve the surprise. Company representatives went on the record with journalists at CNBC, Reuters, and the Associated Press. When asked directly if the leak was a prank, Volkswagen explicitly denied it, confirming to these outlets that the fake rebrand was a genuine, permanent corporate shift. A PR stunt only functions if the audience is eventually allowed to get the joke. By aggressively shutting down the media's natural skepticism to protect the reveal, Volkswagen crossed a firm line between marketing and deliberate disinformation. Outside the safety of a creative review, words carry strict legal definitions. A permanent name change from a major automaker is not interpreted by the public as a clever campaign. It is read as a material corporate fact. Look at the environment where this information landed. The false announcement hit the financial wires as legitimate news, and as a direct result, it actively moved the company's publicly traded stock price. It also collided with the brand's own heavy historical shadow. Just 6 years prior, this same company paid billions in fines for Dieselgate, a scandal defined entirely by a deliberate campaign to lie to regulators and the public. A corporation still recovering from one of the most expensive deceptions in automotive history cannot afford to manufacture a news cycle about lying to the press, even as the original intent was lighthearted. By March 31st, the weight of the stunt finally caused it to collapse. Volkswagen released a statement admitting that the entire rebrand was a hoax designed to highlight their new electric SUV. The immediate fallout was severe. The brand didn't actually change the name on their cars, but they did instantly liquidate the hard-won credibility of their press office. By early May, the delayed, much heavier consequence arrived. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission opened an official inquiry to determine how the fabricated press release affected the company's share price. Treating a material corporate announcement as a playground directly invites federal scrutiny. It takes what was supposed to be a simple marketing push and turns it into a legally fraught regulatory threat. The core failure here had nothing to do with the quality of the pun. The failure was that leadership approved a concept without ever simulating how the word would behave in environments they didn't control. This is where design intelligence becomes a mandatory practice. It is the deliberate process of staging a creative idea against its harshest, most unforgiving real-world contexts before anyone signs off. Watch what happens when a sterile logo steps out of the empty white box into a chaotic timeline of moving stock charts and hostile news cycles. Subjecting an idea to this stress test identifies structural weaknesses in your messaging, preventing a regulatory disaster. Depix exists specifically to close this dangerous gap between the idealized safety of the studio reveal and the unpredictable reality of the market. The render is the evidence, and the decision is the product. You must see every angle and anticipate every room before you commit.